So what's the craziest thing that anybody has ever found in their pockets? Some may say gum, some may say candy, some may say they found money in their pocket before. But what if I told you that somebody once found a severed hand in their own pocket? That's what happened to a Colorado man right now who's under suspicion of unaliving a woman and leaving her body in a creek. When this person was arrested, police went ahead and patted him down and have found the severed hand in a plastic bag inside of his coat pocket. And upon him being arrested, he has made a statement saying that it's been there for 2 days. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the story about how this hand wound up in this man's pocket. On January 10th, 2024, the Pueblo, Colorado Police Department had got an anonymous tip saying that there was a female body located next to Fountain Creek and that they should hurry and try to locate her. And so police went ahead and scrambled up, went down to the area, and by foot and by drones tried to locate the body. Now, after a thorough search, they managed to locate the body, but they came to find out that she had no head. So police were trying to figure out who could do something like this. And then on that exact same day, the same anonymous person came forward with a videotape showing the whole entire incident. So the way the story goes, two people had came forward. Let's go ahead and call them Stan and Tom. So Stan's story was that on January 9th around 5 a.m., his roommate, Solomon Martinez, who was 26 years old, had came to his job, which was a self-serve car wash. And he saw him, he went ahead and waved hi to him, tried to get a conversation going on with him. But then he noticed that he's approaching him, that he had blood on his hands as well as dirt on his pants. And another thing that he also noticed was that Solomon was using the power washer to wash the blood off of his hands. So being curious about what was going on, Stan went ahead and asked Solomon, like, hey, I left some tools in your trunk. Can you go ahead and grab them for me? And so Solomon went ahead, went to the trunk, but he told him, hey, don't come around. I'll go ahead and grab them for you. Just stay right there. And so he went to the trunk, tried to pull the tools out. And Stan said he noticed that during the process of him looking for the tools, he noticed that he kept lifting up something heavy in the trunk. So Solomon went ahead and gave him the tools and told him, like, hey, you know you can do me a favor? Like, you know that $1,000 debt you owe me? Like, you can go ahead and pay me back by digging a 10-foot hole for me. And that's what Stan said. He realized that Solomon Martinez may have unalived somebody. But Stan said he went ahead and refused and went about his day and tried to forget this whole conversation started. Now, Tom, on the other hand, during his questioning, he told a different story about what had happened because he said that he was there when Solomon Martinez had dumped the body. Now, Tom will go on to say that Solomon had came and picked him up and was taking him over to where Fountain Creek was located. And I told him, like, hey, I have something I need to do. And so a part of the thing, he told him, like, hey, I have a body in the trunk that I need to go ahead and dump, and I need your help. And Tom was like, I'm not helping with that. And so he stated that Solomon had pulled out a gun and told him, like, you are going to do this. In which Tom had told him, no, I'm still refusing so. And so Solomon was like, skip it, and did it on his own. Now, Tom will go on to say that he watched as Solomon Martinez had pulled the body out of the trunk, and he noticed that the body was not clothed as well as being covered with a blanket. But he also noticed that the body didn't have a head, but the head was also in the trunk with the body. So Tom will go on to say that Martinez took the body, just took it with a blanket and just drug it on down to near the creek, dumped it. And the 100th time that Martinez was gone, Tom said he took out his phone and started recording everything because he said that he wanted to make sure that he was covered and that he wasn't going to get blamed for the crime that was committed. So Tom will go on to say that Martinez came back shortly later, and that's when he put his phone away. They got in the car and drove back home. And so he took it upon himself that he was like, you know what, I need to say something about this. And so that same day, he went to the police department and had told them what he had saw, as well as shown the video footage of what all that happened. So police had asked them, like, hey, where can we find Solomon Martinez? And so Tom and Stan told him, like, hey, he works as a security guard over at the Pueblo Art Center, and that's where you can find him tomorrow. And so on January 11, 2024, the police had went ahead and stormed into the Pueblo Art Center, and where they found Solomon Martinez as he was working as a security guard. And they went ahead and arrested him, and doing a search of all his belongings as they arrested him, they found a severed hand in a plastic bag in his coat pocket. So upon him being taken to the police station, one of the detectives asked him, do you know why you are here? And he said, yeah, because you found a gift in my pocket. Now, the police had questioned Martinez for over 3 hours, and the information they got from him was astounding. And the fact that most of it was he was manipulating the whole entire situation, because in part of the question they asked him, where do you get this hand from? And he said, like, oh, he picked it up by one of the witnesses that said that he supposedly did this murder. and that he was in fear of his life, so he had no choice but to take it. Martinez would go on to say that Tom was the one that came and picked him up, and when he got in the car, he noticed there was some red stains on the interior of the car, and so he asked him like, hey, what is this stuff? And he said that, oh, that's just some tomato paste that has spilled in the car. And so Martinez said like he just took it as word, not realizing that it was actually blood. So now police wasn't really buying this whole story that he was just like an unexpected witness to this and that they just forced him to do the stuff. And so they asked him like, where's you at on the 9th of January 8th, 2024? And Martinez was going to say that on that night, like I left work, I went to this area, picked up this woman in the night, and we did a few adult things, and I refused to pay her afterwards. And so he was like, I just dropped her off and left her. And the police wasn't really buying that story. So they showed him a photograph of what the woman looked like. And he said like, yeah, that's the exact same woman that I picked up. And they said, okay, because that's the woman that we found at the river. So the victim would come out to be known as Renee Marie Portillos, who was a woman that was left at the river without a head. But the reason they was able to find her identity was because they went ahead and scanned her fingerprints and found a match for her. Now, Renee was 47 years old at the time of her death. Now, once the coroner was able to identify her, they went ahead and notified her next of kin of what had happened. Now, police had believed that he was being very deceitful because Martinez cannot keep a track of his location or time of things that had happened, and they realized he was not being consistent in his story, and so that's when they realized that he might have done it. Now, during an interview, one of the detectives had noticed that Martinez had some cuts and scratches on his hands, and when he questioned about it, Martinez said like, oh, this was caused by my chihuahua who had bit me. But then he turned around and changed the story, saying like, oh, it wasn't that, like my dog was a little rowdy, and so I took him for a walk, and he did his little doggy business, and so I scratched it picking up his doggy business in between some rocks. And so police got a little bit curious about what they could find on his cell phone, in which Martinez had allegedly made a statement saying that you might find some incriminating evidence on my phone. I'm kind of afraid to know what's on there. So with that, police went ahead and arrested Solomon Martinez, and he's currently being charged with first-degree murder. As of right now, he's being held in the county jail on a $1 million cash-only bond. So what do you think? Do you feel that he really did it, or do you feel he's being set up by his roommates?